Welcome to the Markets Talk podcast, where we help you make sense of West Africa's investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. Even though the market slightly declined last week, investors are more active than ever. Let's start with what really matters. The market went down, but activity went up. According to the weekly report, the BRVM composite index declined by 0.55% to reach 406.38 points. The BRVM 30 index also slipped slightly by 0.07%, and the BRVM prestige index saw a sharper decline of 1.83%. But here's the key insight. Trading volume increased by more than 14%, and total transaction value exceeded 6,153 million CFA francs. Why is this important for you? Because it means investors are active. They are buying, they are selling, they are repositioning. Even when the market dips slightly, money is still moving. And that is the sign of a healthy market. Now let's talk about performance. This week was broadly negative, with more declines than gains. But some stocks stood out. The top performer this week, Sicable. The stock rose by over 10% to around 4,140 CFA francs. Why? Because the company is well positioned in electrification projects in Côte d'Ivoire and delivered strong financial results. In simple terms, it operates in a strategic sector, energy and infrastructure. SAPH also rose by more than 6%. And this is important. The increase is driven by strong net profit growth, exceeding 24 billion CFA francs. What does this mean for you? When a company earns more money, it becomes more attractive to investors. Another interesting move, BO in Niger gained more than 6%. But be careful. This is not necessarily because everything is improving. It is mainly because the stock had dropped significantly before. So investors are coming back, attracted by lower valuations. Now let's look at the declining stocks. Unilever Côte d'Ivoire dropped by nearly 16%. A sharp decline linked to lack of visibility. The company has not released updated financial information. And in markets, that's a problem. Less information means more uncertainty. And uncertainty pushes investors away. Total Senegal and CIE also declined after reaching high levels. This is called profit taking. Investors are selling to lock in gains. Now let's move to the bond market. The message here is very clear. The bond market remains strong, but it is entering a consolidation phase. Market capitalization declined slightly to around 11,932 billion CFA francs, but trading activity remains strong. Over 7,608 million CFA francs were traded, and one bond dominates the market. The State of Senegal bond, specifically a 5-year maturity. It represents about 88% of total transactions. What does this mean? Investors trust government bonds, especially those offering attractive returns over medium-term periods. Think of it like this. A bond is like lending money to a government. In return, you receive interest every year. And at maturity, your capital is returned. Some bonds currently offer very high yields, in some cases above 9%, and even higher in specific situations. That is significant, but remember, higher returns often come with higher risks. Now let's talk about dividends. And this is where things get interesting. Average dividend yield is around 5.65%. This means you get paid just for holding stocks. Several companies have announced or confirmed dividends. BOA Burkina Faso will pay 397 CFA francs per share on April 23rd. But there is an important detail. The dividend is lower than last year. Why? Because profits declined, mainly due to higher loan risk and economic pressures. What does this mean for you? Even when companies continue paying dividends, you must always assess their financial health. Another key update, Onatel. The company's profit fell by 26%. Yet revenue increased. This means costs increase faster than revenue. This is a common challenge, and it can impact future dividends. Now let's look ahead. The upcoming week presents strong opportunities. Some stocks are considered undervalued, with potential upside exceeding 10%. But these opportunities are not fully public. And that's by design. This is where Daba Pro comes in. With Daba Pro, you receive weekly stock recommendations, detailed analysis, exclusive market insights. You don't just follow the market, you stay ahead of it. So what should you remember from this week? The market declined slightly, but remains active. Investors are engaged. Dividends remain attractive. Bonds continue to provide stability. And most importantly, opportunities are everywhere. This was your weekly recap brought to you by Daba Finance. To receive weekly recommendations, exclusive insights, and reduced fees, subscribe to Daba Pro. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you get ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back next week with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your App Store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.